this is it. This is the project we've had coming. Josh Bisker's joining me
How we doing, everybody? How we doing?
straight from Florida. He's come up north to get working on this project. No, I'm just kidding. He didn't come here for the project, but came here, and I figured we'd throw him in on the project since Gannon's never here anymore. Uh, but the topic today, before I dive into that, I just want to talk about a little bit about what we're doing. A little introduction to it. By now, you've seen the trailer. You've seen the trailer come out that Tanner Kuhl worked on and produced. Spent a lot of time in the basement with me and Josh and working on that. It took a lot of time and effort. We went downtown, got some footage. We'll have a behind the scenes little video coming out after all these episodes drop. But until then, we're gonna start talking, get a little conversation, a little couch talk going. Just lounge back a little bit,
Try to relax,
relax,
have
and
some conversation.
have an honest conversation about this tough topic. Being a man, it's tough to talk about something like this. Mental health, it's a tough situation to kind of put into words, especially being a guy. It's not easy. That's definitely for sure. So if you're a guy listening at home, even if you're a woman, no matter what it is, we all go through issues. We all struggle. Uh, might not be the same issues that we go through and encounter on a day-to-day basis, but we all have our struggles with anxiety, depression, anger, frustration, bipolar disorder. Uh, no matter what it is, you name it, we're going to go through struggles in life. It's tough. But today's topic is going to be not everyone stays. And what I mean by that is we go through encounters in our life where we have those certain people that choose to come into our life for whatever reason, and they seem like people that are going to be there for the long run, and all of a sudden they drop out of your life, kind of like a balloon that gets popped in midair that just falls or just becomes nothing, and it leaves a void in your life that you have nothing. You miss that friendship, you miss that relationship, that boyfriend or girlfriend, that spouse.
Could be a grandparent.
It could be someone passing away. It may not even be just a fake friend, or a fake person in general. But so we're going to open up and we're going to talk about this 100% honesty, because that's what we want to do with this project is show our vulnerability to you guys so you know that it's okay.
We want to try to be as relatable as we possibly can, and with this whole entire series. So it's going to be a lot of honest stuff. It's going to be 100% truthful, and like Bryce just said, we're gonna try to open up here.
We're going to give it a shot, man. We're going to give it a shot. But okay, so to start it off, really, I mean, throughout my life, Josh and I have been friends. We've been friends since high school. We've definitely seen our fair share of people that have left our lives in bad circumstances,
But also good.
in good circumstances too. There's also people that'll leave your life that were not people that you need in your life. They could be toxic. They could be people that just bring you down and bring bad energy to you that don't allow you to succeed. You can have people in your life that are jealous of you, and they don't like how you are succeeding. And it kind of brings you down because you don't feel like you're doing anything good with your life when you got people in your life that never congratulate you, never are proud of you, never say things like that.
But that can be tough because, like, let's say you find a new friend, you're introduced to a new person through a mutual friend, and, you guys start hitting it off. You guys, start to become really close friends and hanging out a lot. And like you said, they're not supportive. They're not congratulating you. Like, they're not proud of like who you are, who you're becoming, and like what you're enduring. Like at the time, like at the start of that relationship, like you don't see those things. It's something that you usually don't expect
Mm-hmm.
because I personally I like to give people the benefit of the doubt,
Yep.
and that can play to a downfall, but it can also play out really well. I've had both instances happen with certain people, but like with what you were saying, I mean, it's hard to recognize that and to see that that person that is bringing all this toxic negative energy in your life, it's kind of hard to recognize that and to eliminate or remove yourself from the situation, from the person, like it can be really difficult to do.
No, I like that. I like how you mentioned benefit of the doubt. I think me and you both have instances in our life within the past couple of years where we have people come into our life, and we're not going to name any names because it's just not necessary.
Yeah.
But in all reality, we've had those people. We've encountered people within the last
100%.
couple of years that have came into our lives, and they're people that are happy. They're people that make you smile. They make you laugh. But that's not always what life's about. It's not always about having those people come in and make you laugh, make you smile. You also have to understand how to laugh and smile on your own.
Yeah, 100%.
And I think we've given the benefit of the doubt to multiple people that have entered our life, exited our life, entered back in, exited again. I think we've had.
Yeah, it's the second chances that I think some people struggle with too.
I think we struggle with it.
100%.
No doubt. And to be honest with you, like we're talking about trying to be relatable. As many of you guys that are listening to this right now, I think a lot of you are understanding the fact that you probably struggle with this too. You probably struggle with the fact that you got people coming in, you have friends coming in that keep leaving your life, but you keep wanting them back because you enjoy that friendship, you enjoy the fun times, the little things. You enjoy those little things with those partners. A relationship, a girlfriend may leave you, and you constantly wonder what could have been. Why did it have to end? What went wrong? Where did it go wrong? You constantly have that cycle in your head, and it just keeps bringing you back to why does not everybody stay? Why do people leave? And to me, I've always, when I explain mental health to my friends and family, I mean, I've struggled with it. I have anxiety and depression from time to time. I've learned coping mechanisms. I've learned how to handle it, but it's never going to go away. So what I've discussed to friends and family when they come to me with their mental health issues, your brain is like a filing cabinet, and that's kind of the way I think of it. Your brain is like a filing cabinet. You know, the old days where they have filing cabinets. Now everything's just stored on your computer. But
I think everybody knows what a filing cabinet is.
Yeah. But regardless of the fact, that filing cabinet, once it gets too full, and someone in the office goes to open it, and it's jammed, you're sitting there pulling on that filing cabinet. It won't open. It won't open, and you're sitting there wondering, why is this filing cabinet not open? Well, the reason it's not opening is because your brain is that filing cabinet, and it's so full of toxicity. It's full of negative energy. It's full of people that are fake. It's full of people passing away in your family that you miss, times that you regret, and that filing cabinet won't open. Your brain's jammed. So the way to fix that is to talk about it like me and Josh are doing right now. We're talking about these issues. We're talking about the fact that you're going to have people in your life that don't always stay, and that instance might be something that fills your filing cabinet up, and you can't open it. So leave those people in the past if they're the toxic ones, the bad situations. Now I guess we can kind of talk a little bit about the people that are in your life that are good.
Before we do that, I want to ask you. You mentioned you struggled with anxiety and depression yourself, and you found like coping mechanisms that helped you. What type of coping mechanisms work for you? Like how did you get past that? What did you do? Just kind of elaborate on that a little bit.
No, I think it's a great question because everyone says they struggle with mental health, but it all comes down to actually acknowledging it and talking about it rather than just saying, I'm sad. It's much more than that. And for me personally, so I'll give you a little life backstory because I want you guys to understand that I'm trying to be vulnerable too. And so high school, I went to Akron High School, as many of you guys know from listening to our podcast. We've talked about that many times. After I graduated high school, I didn't really have a direction in my life where I wanted to go because all I knew was sports. And I knew I wanted to continue playing college baseball. So I had a couple offers to go play some sports at some Division III schools, and ultimately it didn't sit right with me in the fact that I wasn't ready. I knew I wasn't ready, and I'm a pretty young guy for my class as is. I'm a year younger than some people in my class. Still a 20-year-old kid, but going to college, it all hit me. It all caught up to me all at once. Life circumstances. I had two family members pass away throughout my senior year. My uncle Trent passed away. Barely got to meet meet the guy. Barely got to know the guy that much, which was very tough on me, very tough on my family. That was a very tough circumstance that led to my anxiety and depression getting sped up. And then my grandpa Feeney passed away, which that just hit me even harder because that was the second person in my life that had been taken away within a matter of months, and that all caught up to me finally when I got to college because nothing was the same anymore. I didn't have necessarily the same friends. I had a couple of the same friends. I had Josh. We reconnected after I graduated, came back to being close friends. I had Gannon Ruckman, who I'm doing the podcast with, and then just a couple people in my class, but none of them kids were going to Highland with me really. I had Javier Jazzo. That was my main dude at college. And then yeah, shout out Javier Jazzo because he helped me through a lot of things during that time. And just not having my friends to lean on anymore, it struck me that I didn't have the support system I had like I did at Akron High School anymore. It was nice. It was great living with my family. 2 years, I had an extra 2 years to stay in my own house, get free meals, have my mom do my laundry, have my mom clean my room. I mean, that's luxury. That's luxury. So take advantage of that when you're young, for real. But in all reality, it it felt like home, but at the same time, it's like I lost a piece of home with me because my friends were gone. My friends were gone. My family was still here, but to me, home was just everything I knew for the last 12 years was just smashed. It was gone. And I didn't know how to cope with that because then my mind just started racing and racing and racing to the fact that high school was done and I was in a new circumstance. So my freshman year rolls around and everything's going all right. I struggle with adapting to change. That was a change for me, like I've said. And finally, spring season rolls around for baseball, and I'm on a road trip actually. I think we're headed to Mississippi or Tennessee or one of the southern states. Just enjoying the warm weather, going to play some ball, and I'm sitting in the back of the bus. I'm like, I'm not right. Like my head's not in it. I'm not there. I'm not even looking forward to going on this trip. Like, what am I doing? And to me, baseball was the last thing on my mind because my mind was going 100 miles a minute. I couldn't slow down. I couldn't grasp the concept and the purpose of life. And it was tough. It was scary, insanely scary because I didn't know where to go. I didn't know who to tell. I didn't know what to say, where to say it, how to say it. And it was the most frightening thing I've ever encountered in my life. And for some reason, I'm listening to music on that bus ride, and it just hit me. I'm like, damn it, I can't do this anymore. It had been going on for so long. I picked up the phone and I texted my mom. I said, Mom, like, I'm not okay. And of course, being a mother, she freaked out. I'm 13 hours away on a bus ride, and she's worried about car accident. What's going on? What's wrong? Why are you not okay? And I'm sitting there. I'm like, well, Mom, I'm just sad. I'm just something's wrong with me. I don't know what it is. Like I drive by a house and everything's just a blur. Everything's a blur. Like people are a blur to me. I'm just spaced out living in my own world and it's weird and scary. And so she says, all right, we'll talk about it when you get home. Enjoy the trip. Give me a call if you need me. I'm here for you. Know that I love you. My parents were insanely supportive about it from the jump, which was saved my life. It saved my life in all reality. Uh, so from there, I got back. We made a doctor's appointment. Talked to my doctor about it. Got prescribed medication. After that, I got recommended to a therapist. Went and saw a therapist once a week during that baseball season, my freshman year, and that changed my life. You asked me about coping mechanisms, and I know I'm kind of rambling, telling my life story right
No,
now,
you're good. Keep going.
but uh, the coping mechanisms, when it came down to it, you learn those in therapy. You're not going to learn those on your own. You're not going to YouTube it. It's not going to like go to a real certified doctor who can tell you how to fix these problems with your brain because it's science. They understand what is going on in your brain. They understand things people that people don't on YouTube. They understand things that you're never going to be able to comprehend. They're going to say words that you've never heard. But when it came down to it, them being able to talk to me about what I should do, where I should go with life, they ran me back 3 years ago in my life asking me about stuff that's happened in my life, the course my life has taken, how it's gotten me to the place I'm at now. Because you don't just flip a switch and all of a sudden feel depressed as hell. It's a series of events that take you there. Some people are born with anxiety. I guarantee you, I was born with anxiety. I think I've had it my whole life. It just didn't strike me until my adulthood when I had to make real life choices. But anyway, the coping mechanisms I've learned is if you're struggling to fall asleep at night, because I deal with trouble falling asleep, anxiousness, tossing and turning all the time.
You basically can't turn your brain off when you're trying to fall
Yeah,
asleep.
it's constant thoughts. It's anywhere from, it happens to me with this podcast still. I could be laying in my bed and I'm thinking about this project and it just nonstop. How do I shut that off? I sit there and I listen to my breathing in and out, in and out. And it's tough because sometimes you circle back to those thoughts and you got to reconnect with your brain and listen to the breathing again. It's very hard. It's hard, but it is a solid mechanism that can help you fall asleep. Another thing I do is if I can feel a panic attack or an anxiety attack coming on, most of the time my anxiety attacks come from circumstantial things, where I'm at, who I'm with, what we're doing. Uh, it can get scary, but when I feel them coming on, I like to take a deep breath or change my setting. That's a big thing I learned in therapy is if you're struggling with a panic attack coming on and you're laying in your bed, jump up out of that bed, run downstairs, grab a glass of water, chug it, sip on it, whatever it is, whatever makes you feel good. Grab a piece of gum, start chewing it. Change whatever you're doing. Go outside, get some fresh air. But if you feel something bad coming on, you got to remove yourself from that setting. Remove yourself from whoever you're with, whatever's scaring you, whatever's triggering that anxiousness. So those are the main mechanisms that I've learned. Uh, I appreciate Josh asking that question.
Yeah.
Damn, I could ramble about it. And
You went on quite the rant there, but I think it was good. I think you brought up a lot of good points that I can definitely relate to personally. I think everybody listening, I'm sure you guys can relate to a lot of the things that Bryce had go on in his life. I mean, it might not be the exact same situation, but I mean, the concept is pretty much the same. Personally, when I asked you about the coping mechanisms and like things like that, and you talked about the breathing thing, something that works for me. I think it was my sophomore year of college. I took a yoga class, and I'd never taken yoga before. I was like, this is gonna be like a blow off class, like whatever. Honestly, taking that yoga class was like it changed like my whole life pretty much because like that's kind of when like personally for me when I started to realize that uh, like I had some anxiety problems and I just was feeling super down and basically just kind of lost. And I think a lot of people feel that way, but for me, the class like the instructor just kind of taught me to, like you said, like listen to your breaths. Like when you're breathing or meditating, I think meditation is
huge.
I think
Crucial.
It's highly, highly, highly underrated. I
Yeah.
think a lot of people just overlook it. And you think of like when people think of meditation, you're like, people doing some weird poses, breathing weird, and like that's not what it is. Like
No.
you can literally lay down on the floor and just sit there. You can listen to music. You can do it in complete silence. Whatever helps you be in the most calm, relaxed state, then do it. You could do it in a pool. You could do it. It doesn't matter. You could do it in the shower. But personally, for me, like I'll just literally lay down on my back, lay my arms out, and I'll just breathe. I'll turn on some like relaxing music, and I think that has helped me a lot. Another thing that's helped me a lot is exercise. I think exercise is overlooked a lot.
Huge.
When people are like super depressed and even anxious. I think going to actually do something and like getting like if you're just like super depressed and you're really down and you're not in a good mood and you're just kind of laying in bed, watching TV on your phone, whatever. I think getting up and like going outside for a walk, even or like anything, any type of physical exercise to get your body moving. I think that helps like
it does
tremendously.
Triggers the dopamine.
Yeah, that personally, for me, that's been the biggest coping mechanism for me.
Hmm.
I mean, it's been like insane difference, but
Oh, for sure. And I mean, I love where the conversation's going. We've got a little off track with just the rambling, uh, but in general, it's the vulnerability of it. When you sit down, you got a camera facing you. It's tough to talk about these things, even if you're in a room, just two people, three people, whatever it is. If you're in a room, it's still tough to look at a camera, and talk about your problems. So I get it. If you're watching this video right now, I know you have problems. Acknowledge them, fix them, find a way to fix them. Do it yourself because no one's going to do it for you. Nobody is going to sit there and tell you to do this, do that. And if you do have those people telling you to do it, you're not going to do it until you're ready to do it on your own. I know many people in my life right now, this very instance, that have anxiety, depression, they have anger issues, they have frustration issues, they have blah blah blah, whatever it is. Probably a little bit of bipolar, a little bit of ADHD, but they don't get it checked out. They don't get it fixed. They don't get it. They don't get it managed. They don't learn how to manage it. They don't learn how to cope with it. Instead, they just let other people tell them to fix it, and they do nothing about it, and everything stays the same. They become
nothing ever gets fixed.
no. It's not going to get fixed. Yeah, I take that back. I shouldn't say the word fixed because my anxiety and depression is never going to be fixed. It's going to be managed.
Yeah,
It's going to
how to
be
manage it.
and I wouldn't say you can learn how to prevent it, but you can learn how to handle it, how to limit, prevent, handle, whatever word you want to use. It's never going to go away because in most cases, like I said, I think you're born with it. I think that's just something God gave you, and he gives it to them people that know how to be strong and know how to learn, know how to cope and handle and manage. Uh, but before we dive back into uh, people leaving you, toxic relationships, and how it affects your mental health. I'm going to have this video pop up right now of Noah Spockman talking about his mental health. We reached out to a bunch of people. We have videos coming in from different men talking about their mental health. So that video is going to be coming your way right now.
A man in 2021, I see mental health as something totally different. It was something that you would never talk about because it would lessen your masculinity. You get the stigma on you, people talking about you differently than what you used to be because you came out about your mental health. But nowadays, because there's so many professional sports players, so many amazing celebrities and icons talking about their mental health. Kevin Love and one to be named in his 2016-2017 NBA title run came out about his depression. People like that we look up to are doing this. And it makes us want to do it. And as a man, I'm proud to say that I struggle with mental health. And it's helped me so much as an individual, as a person. And I love that I have mental health because I can help others who struggle worse than me and help them get to a point where they can succeed and love themselves.
Why people leave? Let's get back to that. Let's
Back
get back
to why?
that. Because let's just go a couple more minutes on this topic because I mean we got a lot of topics to talk about. But
I think one of the main reasons why people leave it might be because they're going through their own situations.
Facts.
I mean, a lot of people will, they'll delete social media.
Mhm.
Nowadays everybody's on social media. Um, I know a lot of people's main source of communication is Snapchat,
Yep.
and some people will just delete the app for a week or 2 weeks or however long it might be. And, with Snapchat specifically, your streak, you got to talk to the person every day. And, somebody who you've been talking to for a year straight on Snapchat, they finally, they lose that streak and they stop talking to you. And then it's all right, what's going on here? And then some people might reach out, give that person a call or a text or just kind of be like, hey, what's up? Some people won't. And then after that, weeks go by or days go by, weeks go by, then possibly months. And then you guys run into each other and it's just kind of awkward after that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of never really the same. Sometimes it is, there's definitely instances where, for me, I have friends that I could go I could go months without talking to and pick
up
up
right where you left
right
off.
where we left off.
Yep.
That's a rare case. I only have like a couple friends that I
Yeah.
can say that applies to.
Most of the time it don't work like that, but those friends are nice.
Yes.
Those friends are nice.
If you can find yourself some of those friends, then definitely
Take advantage.
take advantage of that for sure.
But I know for me, I had a past relationship that went great. I think. Obviously, it ended and stuff, and that was a long time ago. Blah blah blah. But that example in general, being in a relationship, it's not always easy. There's hard times. You're gonna have your ups and you're gonna have your downs. It could be great. It could be bad. But when it comes down to it, it's a roller coaster. Your life's a roller coaster of emotions. Yeah, you're gonna encounter people that you date, and you're not always gonna know if that person's the one for you or not. But you might. And if you do, take advantage of that, because those people are going to be the ones that ride with you through this mental health stuff, through this dark time that you have to encounter. My best way to describe what that depression is like is it feels like you're in a dark hole, a very dark hole. I don't know if I'm assuming a lot of people have seen the movie Holes. Great movie, go check it out. But it's a very old movie, but imagine a deep hole. You're in that deep hole, and you're buried alive. Like, it's a scary feeling. I mean, it's kind of daunting for me to be talking like that. But you're in one of those holes, and you're crawling up. You can't get out. You can't see the surface. You can't get your hands above the ground. You can't get out. So how do you get out of that? Some people don't.
I think the best way to do it, the best way to start to get out of it, is talking to your parents. I really do.
What if you don't have parents? What if you don't have parents?
If you don't have parents, you find the closest thing to it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like you said, you didn't really know how to say it, who to say it to, where to say it. Like when you were struggling, like when you realized you were truly struggling, and you went to your mom.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah, at first she's gonna freak out, and probably that mom instinct's gonna kick in.
Yeah,
but
sure.
You sit down and you actually have a conversation. I think your parents are gonna appreciate you even going to them.
Pure honesty and
your parents
trust.
You might feel like your parents are gonna judge you for some of the stuff you might tell them, even though you might your parents might not want to hear it, or you might not think they want to hear it, but they do. Like your parents want you to talk to them. They want you to tell them everything.
They're gonna ride for you.
Like that relationship, I think, is regardless of how bad you might think it is, because I know not everybody's family situation is perfect, but I think you going to them is the first big step. I think after that, it's only going to get easier. I mean, I know a lot of people, if you're at college and you're struggling, homesickness, whatever it is, I can guarantee that your college has free counseling that you can go to and just talk. Just talk and talk and talk. And like Bryce, you went to a therapist, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's basically the exact same thing. I mean, you can literally go whenever you're feeling like crap, and it's a bad day or whatever it is. You're at school, hundreds of miles away from home, whatever. No family around. Just go talk to your counselor. They literally have free services at damn near every single school.
And I want to bring this up now that you mentioned the counseling part again. What's insane to me just thinking about it on the spot right now is Josh and I are doing a form of counseling right now.
Oh yeah, 100%.
By looking at this camera and recording, and me and him talking back and forth, we're talking, we're communicating.
Definitely.
That's how you fix problems. You talk, you communicate. So
yeah,
that's an idea.
Even if you don't want to talk to your parents, just talk to your friends.
Talk to your friends, but say you have nobody. Say you seem like you're a person that say you call yourself a loner and you feel like you have no friends. You feel like your family doesn't want to talk to you, and if you're that scared you can't do it, and you have a last resort, literally take your phone and record it yourself on Snapchat. Save the video of you just being vulnerable and watch it back. Just watch that video or take notes, write in a journal. It's not a girly thing to do. If you got a problem and you need to discuss it, you need to get it off your chest, write it down, type it out, whatever it is. But at the end of the day, people are going to leave. They're not always going to be here by your side. You're going to lose loved ones. You're going to lose people that don't belong in your life. When it comes down to it, though, you got to have the will to survive.